If you live in Missouri and you need help paying rent or utilities, you'll want to apply to this program. My name is Elad Gross. I am an attorney working with a whole bunch of folks in Missouri on the rental and utility assistance programs that are out there, including the statewide program called SAFHR. SAFHR is a great opportunity for landlords and for tenants to get all caught up. SAFHR can pay up to 12 months of rent, and that includes rent that is currently due and up to 3 months of forward rent to help stabilize the whole housing situation in Missouri. Additionally, SAFHR can also pay for back-owed utilities, so you want to get those bills together too. Now you can apply online, and I'll show you how to do that right now, or you can go ahead and call 1-833-541-1599. Now let me show you how to apply for this program online. Now to the application directly, you'll go to this website, which is safhr.smapply.org. Remember, when you're spelling out SAFHR, you're spelling it SAFHR, and that stands for something lovely, and you'll see it right here on this page. When you're here, you'll also see a big green button up in the right upper corner, and it might be a little bit different on your phone that says register. Go ahead and click that. That's really where you're going to start either way. When you hit register, you'll have the opportunity to register with Facebook, Twitter, or a Gmail account if you already have one and you want to link those, or you can create an account here. If you do need help with the application and you might have another organization or somebody like me helping you with it, I highly recommend that you go ahead and type in your name, give them an email, even if it is a Gmail account, type in a password, confirm your password, write down your password on a piece of paper so you don't forget it, and then go ahead and hit the I'm not a robot and create an account. Now this is the first task that you'll get. It's the eligibility checklist, and it's one that you can see I've already completed, and you'll have to complete too. There are a couple of hang-ups here. One is on a question that's worded a little bit strangely. It's this one right here that says, I certify that at least one individual in my household receives unemployment benefits and or has experienced a reduction in household income, incurred significant costs, or experienced financial hardship due directly or indirectly to the COVID-19. So you don't have to be on unemployment. You don't have to have received unemployment in order to apply for this. That is just one option. That's why it's got and or. A lot of folks read this and they say, oh, well, I never received unemployment, so I can't apply for this. That's not true. As long as you can show some kind of financial hardship as a result of COVID-19, you are eligible for this program and can continue going and answer yes to that question. The other big issue is, what about income? What are the income limitations? And they are pretty high. Now, if you're Bill Gates, I'm sorry, you can't apply for SAFHR. You're just not going to be able to do that. But most folks who are applying and need help with rental assistance will be eligible under the income guidelines here. There are two ways for folks to determine whether you are eligible based on your income, and you'll answer those questions later on in this application. One is based on your 2020 income, so that would be what you filed for taxes, what you made that last year, and the other one is what you're making in the last 30 days, and you'll back that up with 60 days worth of information like pay stubs or your bank account, if you've received food stamps or other Medicaid, other programs like that, services from those programs, you can actually use that as evidence of what your income level is, because if you qualify for many of those programs, you'll qualify for this too. Sections 1 and 2 actually require a bit of information from you. Your income documents, you can upload those documents here. In fact, if you've got a phone and you don't have a scanner or something at home, you can actually take pictures of those documents using your phone. Make sure those documents are clear when you take a picture of them, and you can upload each of those individual pictures to any of these sections. Now let's look at section 1. Most of this is pretty self-explanatory, but there are a few questions that folks get a little hung up on. So I'll just point those out for you to hopefully help save you some time. So if you go down to question number 3, you'll be asked how many members are in your household. Don't forget to include yourself. You are an important and special person. That applies also for question number 4. Make sure to write your first and last name in there too. Don't leave yourself out. Make sure to include everybody in your household, including yourself. Now in question number 6B, this is an optional section where you can upload a document. If you do have any kind of document showing an added cost as a result of COVID-19, and that can include late fee charges on rent or credit cards that you had to load up in order to pay for things, or increased costs due to childcare. There's a bunch of examples in here. If you can find anything like that, please go ahead and upload that here too. That just makes this application go a lot more smoothly. So if you've got it, put it in right here at 6B. For question 7, you'll be asked how you would like your income to be measured. That's what I talked about before, 2020 or the last 30 days. If you are on any of these programs listed here, including food stamps or Medicaid or WIC, or you have any of that stuff going on in your family, then you can select your income based on 2020. And they won't ask for a whole bunch of other documentation, but they will ask for proof that you're on one of those programs. You can also do your last 30 days, especially if you've been hit pretty recently, or if your income is under the thresholds that I showed you earlier. So you can choose. You might have to provide some pay stubs depending on how you answer some of these questions. But again, if you're on any of these programs, then you're able to upload those documents because you've already been approved for those, so you can get approved for this as well. Now, question 8, if you aren't making any income right now, then you'll select yes, and you'll be able to sign right there. That's what's called a self-attestation. You might hear that in some other places, but that just means you're promising that you're not lying to them, which is what you're going to be doing later on in the application too. In question 11, where it says estimated total household income, if you did say I don't make any money, then you put 0 there. If you are making some, give an estimate for what it is, look at how much you're making per month, and then multiply that out by 12, and that's what you would put in question number 11. Question number 12. This is one where you're going to select one of 3 options based on what your income is, and here's that link right there to the income ranges. So you're going to have to select one of these. So just look up in those tables where your income lies, and then go ahead and put the answer that corresponds with that right here in number 12. Then once you're done with all that, you just go ahead and hit mark as complete. If you haven't been able to get all the documents together, but you've been answering some questions, hit save and continue and come back later. You can always come back by navigating to the next section and just clicking on those independently. Now in section 2 is where you're going to be asking for your assistance. So you can apply in question number 1 for past due rent, for forward rent up to 3 months, for past due utility assistance, and for other fuel also up to 3 months. So go ahead and select all of them that apply. Remember, in total, you can get up to 12 months of assistance. So it's got to be those same 12 months. If you owe more than 12 months in back rent, then you're going to be just checking that past due rent, and if you owe utilities, that one, and the other fuel. You won't be able to apply for forward rent because you owe too much in back rent. If you, for example, owe 9 months in back rent, you can apply for 3 months of forward rent too, so you can check both of those boxes. If you owe 10 months in back rent, you can still apply for 2 months of forward rent. So again, you would check all of those boxes as well. As long as the combination of months that you are applying for equals 12, you're fine. And when you get to the past due rent section, it can get a little tricky too. Question 5 is asking how much past due rent do you have? And question 7 is asking how much rental assistance are you asking from this program. Most situations, those numbers could be the same. The amount that you owe is exactly what you're asking for. But in some situations, it's not. For example, if you owe 13 months of rent, but you can only get up to 12 months of rent through this program, then in question number 5, you'd put the total amount due. And in question number 7, you'd ask for 12 months total of rent, whatever that amount is. So 12 times your monthly rent amount. Now, when you're asking for forward rent, just go ahead and put in how many months that you're requesting there. And when you get to the utility assistance section, you'll just select the ones that apply to you. That will open up those sections for you to type into. Make sure that when you upload the documents related to this, that you upload the bill that shows your name, your account number, how much you owe. If you do have some kind of a disconnect notice, make sure to upload that here too. If you do have a disconnect notice, I highly recommend that you talk to folks in your area to see if you can get more immediate help. That opportunity is available in a lot of places. You can also try to call 211 to get connected to whoever is doing that in your area. You don't have to put your utility application just in here. You could just say, well, you know what? I'm going to apply only for back rent or only for forward rent and not utilities through this one, and apply for the utilities through some other program. That's totally fine. You don't have to put everything in here if you don't want to. When you do select the months that this utility assistance is applying to, if you do go through SAFHR to do that, then just make sure that those months are in that same period for the past due rent that you're applying for. You could technically use SAFHR just to apply for the utility assistance too, and that would be fine. Then you would just select those months too, but they have to be past due. Right? You can't get forward utility assistance. You can only get forward rent assistance through the SAFHR program. Now, once you get all of those other sections done, you'll get a new section called the Landlord Recommender task that opens up. Make sure to read the instructions, but essentially, you're going to be putting in the email for the landlord. You'll be asked for the email and contact information. The email is not for yourself. It's for the landlord, because eventually the landlord is going to look and then has to fill out some of the direct deposit information so that they can get paid through this program. A lot of folks get hung up and they put their own email and it rejects it, and then they try a different email and all this. It just becomes a mess. Your landlord's email is what they need. And so once you put that in there, it will send them an email, let the landlord know that it's on the way, and then they can fill out their section. Once they're done, you'll get an email saying the landlord finished. Go ahead and finish the rest of the application. So you'll have to go back in, you'll mark that section as complete, and then you'll be able to submit the entire application. You'll see that the submit button is now available for you to hit, and you'll go ahead and hit that, send it on in. Now, we do have some situations where the landlord refuses to participate. If that's the case, then make sure to let the folks at SAFHR know. You'll call them, tell them what's going on. They'll make some attempts to reach out to the landlord if you haven't been able to already. And you'll follow all of their directions. That last task will actually change from a landlord recommender task into this one right here, which you can see it's called the SAFHR Tenant Payment Information section. And for that, you will have to upload your own bank account information so that way they can send you payment. If that's not possible, still let MHDC, the folks who run this, know. Follow their instructions, but essentially what will happen is you will get the direct payment. The payment you will then have to promise to use for rent, and so you'll then provide that payment directly to your landlord. In about 10 to 14 days after you submit the application, your application will be reviewed, and then there will be a detailed explanation of what you need to fix. Now, in those emails that you will receive, it will tell you, hey, you know what? You got to go back in, fix this problem. It should describe to you what is going on and what sections you need to go in there and fix, which is great, because for folks who are working on a phone, it can be hard to see without getting that email what needs to be fixed. Instead, you see this big submit button when you sign back in, and so most people just click submit, and then it goes back in without any changes. Don't do that. If you get this thing back And now you see that you can submit it again. That means something needs to be fixed. So make sure to read that email very closely. You can also, if you're not just using a phone, you can go to the library too if you don't have a computer at home. But if you've got a computer and on some tablets, you can actually go into your application again and you'll see what I'm seeing right now on the screen. And that is that there's the application section itself, and then you can see that there's some tabs at the top. One of them says reviews and one of them says activity. If you hit the reviews section, you'll also see that that review is located in here, and it will tell you exactly what needs to be fixed. We'll have questions marked for correction. But if you have trouble with this, even after reading, and you don't know exactly what they're looking for, or you think you did it right, go ahead and give the folks a call and see what's going on, and they can be very helpful on the phone for you as well. Now, if you do need to make any changes and you see a bunch of these sections you can click on, but they've got that green check mark on them, you're like, how I can't see how to make any edits. You just go back in and you click on the section that you want to go to, just like I have right there, and you'll see 3 dots at the top. When you click those 3 dots, you'll be able to download the information, reset it, or edit it. And so if I hit the edit button, my green check mark just turned into a half green circle, and now I can go back in here and change my answers however I want to. So that's how you can make changes to the application. I hope this was helpful. If you are a renter in this situation, if you're a landlord with a renter who owes a whole bunch of money, check out this program. It is so essential that we avoid mass evictions. It will just wreak havoc on families, on our communities, on our economy, and this is a program to help us all avoid that. So please participate in it. There's money out there to help you. There's money out there to stabilize this whole situation. Don't ignore your current circumstances. Definitely take action. Call those numbers if you've got a problem. Make sure to get the help that you need. Reach out if there's anything that I can do for you. Take care out there. Stay safe. And if you're looking for some other videos that could be helpful, we've got a few others up at eladgross.live.